Now at 6 o'clock, we have breaking news. Crews investigating a food cart explosion in southeast Portland. We'll have the latest for you in a live update coming up in our top story. Plus,
so taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good.
This is fear-mongering about autism.
Doctors are reacting to President Donald Trump's announcement linking acetaminophen use while pregnant to autism. And later,
to kind of just sell that idea that, you're checking your bags into the hotel and you're here for your, your final stay.
what are we talking about here? We're talking about a teenager gearing up for Halloween next month by creating a haunted house in his parents' basement. Did he have permission? It's one of the questions we're going to answer. The spooky tour coming up at 6:45 as we kick off the 6 o'clock hour of Sunrise right now.
good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Tuesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney, Chris McGinnis, and Rod Hill. There's no way I could scare China Green on this Tuesday morning, right? Boom! Come on, how could that happen so easily? I mean, there was the warning shot, right? Gave her a warning.
Yeah.
And it still happened.
She's not happy. It's crazy.
She's not, you're not happy?
Not happy.
Can you come back in and show that you're not happy? Can we at least see you unhappy?
There she is. Wow, not happy.
Good job, Drew.
Gentlemen?
It's our first haunted house story of the Halloween season, right? Coming up. We have a beautiful morning out there. We are seeing reports of fog along the coast and even some mist. It's pockets of fog. Some of you at the beach are clear. Everybody inland is clear this morning, and this will be a nice day. The headline today over yesterday, warming temperatures. Mainly clear looking out from the Wells Fargo building. Of course, the sun's not up yet. That'll happen shortly before 7. 55 is the number out at the airport right now. So it's a clear start at the bus stop, in the 50s generally. 73 degrees at noon. Kids get out of school, dress for summer. It's going to be 70s lunchtime recess and then up into the 80s and maybe even mid to upper 80s for actual highs later today. Here's Chris.
Go ahead to the swimming pool if any are still open. All right, let's get you out the door. One trouble spot right now in North Portland on the freeway, I-5 southbound. Crews still working this crash scene near the Fremont Bridge. It's actually right near the on-ramp from Greeley to southbound I-5. So you can see they've got the right shoulder tied up and traffic getting around that. There is a little bit of bunching up there, but outside of that, the rest of the freeway system still in relatively good shape. Door number 3 takes us to Clark County. There's your I-5 drive over the interstate bridge. That still looks pretty good. And a quick check of the drive times. We're seeing more cars on the road, but so far, guys, we're still rolling along at pretty close to a speed limit clip.
All right, Chris, we appreciate that. Let's get to that breaking news we just mentioned a moment ago from southeast Portland, where fire crews are investigating a food cart explosion.
Libby Dowsett joins us live along Southeast 82nd Street. Libby, witnesses telling us they saw flames and heavy smoke here.
Yeah, China, we are here at 82nd and Harney, and those witnesses describing this explosion as thunderous. They heard the boom this morning, one single boom. One witness says she caught video of the flames shooting into the air. We have that video for you this morning. She is a bartender 2 buildings down from this food pod, with flames shooting up over the food cart pod, smoke billowing in the air. She was working at the Tired Feet Tavern. She recorded this video with the smoke filling the air. Other witnesses came to the area, all witnesses and neighbors in the area. And we were able to gain access to the area with the fire inspector this morning to see the aftermath. Several food carts have been completely destroyed. We do have some good news. No one was injured in this explosion, but doors have been blown off. There's glass everywhere. Portland police saying that they are investigating this scene, still have no cause at this point. A witness telling us she was blocks away, about to leave from work when she heard that boom. So it was heard from a long ways away. And she saw the explosion and the flames once she got down to this area. So again, no injuries at the scene here, but behind us, investigators on scene trying to figure out what caused this explosion. Back to you.
Libby, thank you. Your time now is 6:04. Gresham police are asking for help finding a missing man they believe to be in danger. So take a good look at your screen right here. This is 81-year-old William Bill Collins. He was last seen at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon leaving his care home on Northeast Hacienda Avenue. Collins is diabetic and depends on insulin. He's about 5'11", was last seen using a walker and wearing a red baseball cap, black and gray jacket, black pants and black shoes. Police say that he's familiar with TriMet and may travel to the VA hospital in Portland. Anyone with information on his whereabouts should call 911.
This morning, we're taking a closer look at the studies being done to determine if there is a link between Tylenol and intellectual disabilities, autism, or ADHD.
This comes after President Donald Trump announced the FDA will work to add new labels to acetaminophen, more commonly known as Tylenol, to warn that the use of the drug by pregnant women could be tied to autism in their babies. This study was done in Sweden and looked at children born in 1995 through 2019 for a total of nearly 2.5 million children. In the study, they controlled for many factors, including the mother's pre-existing conditions, including migraines, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic pain, and infection 1 year before pregnancy through delivery. This was also a prospective study, meaning they asked moms at their first appointment and every appointment until delivery if they had taken any Tylenol. This avoids possible recall biases, meaning asking those with a diagnosis if they remember if they took medication while they were pregnant. What they have found initially is a 0.0% higher risk of autism until they controlled for siblings. This means they looked at families who had one child with a neurodivergent disability but didn't take Tylenol and another when they did take Tylenol. In those families, there is likely a genetic component. When sibling control was accounted for, there was no link or association between Tylenol or acetaminophen use in pregnancy and an increased risk of autism.
We also spoke to a local doctor about the president's announcement, so this is what he had to say.
Tylenol is one of the only and one of the safest options for pain control in pregnancy, and that is an essential aspect of necessary health care. Pain and fever in pregnancy needs to be treated with Tylenol, and not treating pain and fever can lead to complications for the mother and for the baby.
Yesterday, the FDA issued a press release noting that acetaminophen is the only drug approved to treat fevers during pregnancy. And they also noted that aspirin and ibuprofen both have well-documented adverse impacts on unborn children.
Safeway and Albertsons pharmacies across Oregon and Washington are now offering an updated COVID vaccine, so customers can walk in or make an appointment online. Children under 7 years old will need to see their pediatrician for the vaccine. You'll also want to check directly with your insurer about potential costs, including copays.
We're 6 weeks away from the special election in November, so that's when voters in Vancouver will get to decide whether to raise taxes to pay for more police officers. Proposition 5, also known as the Police Services Levy, would raise $6 million a year for 6 years to hire up to 13 officers. For some context, if this levy passes, Vancouver's mayor says someone who owns a $500,000 home would pay an additional $75 a year in property taxes.
We have so many officers with a great amount of overtime. So 2 officers are doing the work of 3 with all of the overtime.
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, especially like I said, compared to everything else. If it makes us safer, it's fine with me.
I mean, it's important to have police, and there's so much homelessness here.
A similar but larger ballot measure failed last year in Vancouver. Ballots for the special election in November will go out in the mail next month. And we're also just a few days away from 51 new laws taking effect in the state of Oregon. We have an article on our website that takes a look at all these new laws. If you text the word laws to that number on your screen, 503-226-5088, we'll text you back with a link to that article.
Hillsborough police are warning people about credit card skimmers because authorities shared these photos of 3 devices that were found, though they didn't specify exactly where. But thieves often place these card skimmers directly over the keypad or card reader. So police say if anything looks loose or different when you go to pay, you should ask an employee to check it out or just use a different machine. Investigative reporter Kyle Boshi has been keeping an eye on card skimmers and efforts by scammers who use them to steal funds from EBT cards. So you can check out his full reporting on the topic anytime on KGW plus.
All right, live look outside to set up Rod Hill's forecast. Live look from our Vancouver Skycam there along the waterfront, showing off the interstate bridge. Cars moving along in both directions without much problem on this Tuesday morning. Rod, let's talk about the first full.
Woo!
No, not today.
No, I got a little bit. I got a little bit of a startleness.
Rod, rate what just happened. Was I showing startleness or not?
Just a little bit.
Jan, I love you, but I think that was a fail. I give Drew props for just being stoic in that moment.
Yeah, what I was saying, Rod, despite the interruption from my colleague, today the first full day of fall, but it'll feel like summer.
Yes, it will. We're talking mid, even upper 80s this afternoon. Records are still up into the 90s. And by the way, the record book shows 90s possible all the way into the first week of October. So today we're talking 85, even 86, 87, 88. Going to be warm, about 10 degrees up from yesterday. We are starting off with clear skies, no valley fog or anything like that being reported. Winds are calm out of McNary Field in Salem. 51 degrees is your temperature. Here's a look across the Willamette at the downtown cityscape of Portland. Yesterday we had fog nipping over the West Hills, but nothing showing up today. Just a clear sky. 55 is the temperature. Numbers out the door, pretty similar to yesterday actually. One exception. Notice it's 50 in Hillsboro, but then you go out here and you've got a 65 in Gresham. Not windy, but enough of a east wind moving the air to where the temperature hasn't cooled off. So it is an east wind day, which will give us the clear skies. I think the forecast is good at breezes like 5 to 15. Again, I'm not expecting it to be windy. Here are the afternoon numbers, and most areas, not everybody, but most will be up to about 80 in eastern Oregon, well up into the 80s up and down I-5. We will be the warm spot of the state here in the valley, and then 60s and 70s with clear skies after early fog pockets along the coast. No changes really to our 7-day. A couple warm days today with sunshine, 85, 85. Thursday morning, we could get back into a pattern of some early fog or low clouds in the valley. Temperatures primarily in the 70s. I do have Saturday at 80, and there's our next shower chance showing up Monday afternoon, Monday night, and Tuesday of next week. And that is your update.